It's 8:36. He's a Dallas Cowboys super fan who's sharing just a part of his amazing collection with the Perot Museum in Dallas, part of a new exhibit called Eye of the Collector. Bob Bragalone, live at the Perot near downtown Dallas. I have to admit, Bob, I was a little shocked. I was picturing a 70-year-old guy in a sweatshirt and a rocking chair.
Well, they've got that guy tied up in the back, and then they got me as a fill-in.
How did you become obsessed? First of all, are you a ticket holder, season ticket holder?
I am, yes.
For how long?
Well, you know, I got out of law school in 1990, and I did an interview with any law firms that weren't from Dallas because I knew where I was going. Okay. So I immediately got my season tickets in 1990.
And your collection consists, show us some of the best stuff. A museum-worthy collection, which is really saying a lot.
Well, you know, I think when you think about the Dallas Cowboys, there's nothing more iconic than that number 12 jersey and that funny hat they call the fedora. And those are easily at the top of my list in my collection, not just for what those men accomplished on the field, Landry and Staubach, but for the great class and character they displayed both on and off the field.
So does this particular jersey, is it, I mean, and over the years, a lot of people have landed a Roger Staubach jersey. Does this one, other than being in your collection, have any significance?
You know, back in those days, Tim, they didn't give out a new jersey per game, so these things were probably worn for multiple seasons, but I don't know anything else about it other than it dates back to the 1970s.
And how did you get your hands on a Coach Landry fedora?
That actually was auctioned off on eBay back in 2000.
Really? And
I remember at the time there was a pair of Tex Schramm's boots, and I thought, geez, Tex boots or Tom's hat? I got to go with Tom's hat.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, where does this normally reside, this collection? And we're just seeing just a part of it behind you there.
In my house. I've actually been kind of building out my own private museum, and it was just about 90% ready when the Perot Museum contacted me, and I thought, wait a minute. My museum's almost up and running, and I'm going to take some of my best items and give them to somebody else's museum? That's crazy. But really, it's not. You know, what's the point of collecting if you can't share it? So I was honored, and I was easily ready and happy to comply.
Some of the stuff you got is not that unusual or that rare. Some of it is very rare. How do you decide what is worthy of your collection?
You know, I think that for me, if it's tied to a great game, to a great player like a Hall of Fame player, or if it's just old, the old vintage stuff, the Cowboy Joe logo that you see from the early 60s, back in the days when nobody really knew that this team was going to become America's team, that's a lot of fun. For example, if you see behind me the posters from 1963, these are bus stop signs that would advertise the games, and when the game was over, they became trash. So 1963, that was trash, or as my wife would say in 2016, still trash.
Yeah. Are you one of those guys who will go stand in line for hours to get an autograph? And if so, do the players or former players look at you differently, knowing you're not just going to walk out the door and put it for sale on eBay, that it is something that's very special to you personally?
You know, I actually stopped getting signatures right about the time that became in vogue. So I think I was a little bit more of a true collector when people didn't really doubt your motives. That was before I had 3 kids and a busy law practice. But now I'm trying to get my 2 sons into it a little bit more. But you're right. It's a little bit sad these days that they turn a skeptical eye toward even a kid walking up and getting an autograph because they're looking to wait to see if he's going to hand it to an adult.
Right, exactly, exactly. Well, thank you for sharing at the Perot Museum. We should tell folks that the members of the Perot can get a preview today and tomorrow, and the rest of us, it opens on Saturday. So thanks so much for sharing. We've got a link with more information on fox4news.com.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.